Let me show you the easiest way how you can buy stocks on the Interactive Brokers mobile app. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you know, I'm very passionate about investing with all things crypto, stocks and ETFs. And when I first started off buying stocks, I started with an app called Revolut, which is amazing for beginners, something similar like Robinhood or Webull, and makes it very easy, almost gamifies buying stocks. But as I progressed and got more serious and invested bigger funds, I didn't feel so comfortable anymore with it. And I looked around and found Interactive Brokers. Ever since using it, I absolutely love the platform. The lowest fees out there. It's available literally around the world, allows fractional shares, and Interactive Brokers is actually one of the biggest brokers in the world with one of the longest track records. So they have been in the game for a long time. So they're very trustworthy, and I've already done a video on it, how you open the account and how you use the web portal, which is amazing if you want to use your desktop for it. And I'm going to put the link in the description below. But in this video, I want to show you all about the app that they have. It's a great app, but it can be a little bit overwhelming if you're a first-time user, especially when you come from the simpler apps like Robinhood or Revolut. But before we dive into the app, one last thing I'll ask you to do. We're finally getting close to the 1000 subscriber mark. So if you haven't done it already, it would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot. With this, let's dive right in. So I actually have the app on my second home screen because otherwise I'll be checking it constantly. I just want to kind of keep myself a bit away from it. So it's called IBKR. You can actually find it very easy on the Apple Store. You just open that. It's available on Apple and Android. So I'm just going to put Interactive Brokers. And as you can see, the first one is the one we want to have. And very easy. Just download it. And you're good to go. Obviously, as I said, you have to register yourself first, but I put the link to the video in the description below so you can see how that is done. And once you're set up and ready to go, your account is approved, you can basically log into your app and start using it. So you just open it over here. It logs you in using my Face ID, and I'll show you in a second how that works. But basically, once you log in, this is the main screen you're going to be greeted with. So this is your kind of dashboard where you can see everything at a glance. You can see my total portfolio, which is close to $7,000, the change in the month, etc. So you can see here my graph and how my portfolio developed, but as much as I want to take credit for it, I'm not quite that of a genius investor. Actually, it also measures every time you deposit money or you put cash into your account, it naturally increases your portfolio. I will show you later your actual performance of your stocks, but this is just a kind of snapshot overview to see how your total portfolio is developing. So it's not just pure investment success. Then you have a small section over here for you. So this is anything that's relevant or pertaining to your portfolio, which is quite interesting to swipe around. And then you have your top portfolio positions. Now, as I said in the past, I was heavily using Revolut, but now any new stocks I buy in the future, I will buy from Interactive Brokers. So that's why at the moment my portfolio is still quite small, but going forward I will definitely expand that in the future. Then you have a bit of a market update, what's happening in the markets, and then you have sort of general top news, what's happening in the markets, economy, mostly US. Again, you can customize this, which kind of news you want to have. And then you can click on the second tab over here, portfolio news, and you see anything pertaining to your portfolio. So whatever stocks you have in your portfolio, you see all the news exactly only towards that. So that's quite interesting. You get a glance of what's happening with your stocks and your companies you own. Then once we go to the bottom, there's always a nice quote which can be inspiring. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin.
What a wise man he was.
And then you have the option to configure the screen. And this is really one of the powers of Interactive Brokers. It really lets you customize so many things. So when you click on this gear icon over here, you can have certain things that you can turn on or off. So obviously I have most of it turned on. But again, if that's too overwhelming for you, you can easily toggle it on or off as you wish. And you can add or remove any of the information provided to you. The default region for me is US because mostly I invest in the US. So that's why I want to see most information pertaining to US news. But again, you can change this up if you so wish. So then we go back into this, and one more button, obviously we'll come to this in a second, but basically you will see this on most screens, and that's the magnifying glass over here. So basically whenever you hit this on any screen, so that's basically the quote search. So whenever you look for a certain stock, share, option, whatever you have, you click on this and you can start looking for the particular asset class. But we'll get to this in a second. So whenever you also see these arrows on the right hand side over here, so whenever you click this, this takes you to the dedicated page on the app. So in this case, when I see the dashboard, I click on the arrow on the top right here, and that takes me into my portfolio overview. And that's also how you reach on the second part of the tab down here, as you can see, and that shows you all your portfolio, all your holdings in an overview. So it starts off by your account number, obviously. Again, you can open this up to see some more details, but basically my buying power at the moment is $44.80. So this is what I have left, and I can buy stocks from that. And then you can see your NLV, your total value of your portfolio basically, but I like to collapse this. Again, this overview you can customize, and I'll show you in a second how, but basically you see all the stocks you own here. As you can see, I have 3 currently, and also the way I have set it up. When you open it the first time, I think there's a lot more columns to the right, but I really reduced them because of the small size of the screen. I don't want to see 20 columns that I have to scroll all the time. So these are the few most important KPIs or numbers I want to see on my dashboard. Things like the unrealized P&L. So that's actually the total return I got from that particular asset class or stock, ETF, whatever you have, since buying it. So basically with my VUSA, which is my ETF in the S&P 500, so far I lost $6, which is not impressive. But again, I'm a long-term investor, so I'm very confident that this will go up in the future. My unrealized P&L in percentage, so that's the kind of percentage, the monetary value in a percentage of the total price, the market value. So currently it's worth $4.9 thousand. My cost basis happens to be the same because I just bought it recently, and position. So that's how many shares you have of a stock or ETF. So in my case, 64 shares in the VUSA ETF. And the same you can see for all the rest of the stocks. And at the bottom you have the cash balance. Here you can see how much cash or any other currency you own. So when you click on it, you can also easily convert. So I can just click on convert, and then you would select what currency you have, in my case dollars, and here you select any currency you want to have basically. And the great thing once again about interactive brokers, whenever you convert money, they do charge a small commission. I think it's $1 or $2, but if you have a larger amount of money, you will 100% get the best exchange rate out there, even better than Revolut or even better than what you find on Google. So when you type euros to dollar and put the amount, what they show you is actually going to be less than what you're going to get if you exchange through the app. So while they do charge you a small commission, they're not charging you a hidden fee, the margin, which a lot of other brokers or exchanges do. They don't show there's a commission, but they actually price it into your exchange rate. So really a handy tip there. When you want to exchange money, definitely do it through interactive brokers. And then, as I said, you can really customize your view if you click the three dots over here, and you have some shortcuts. Once again, you can convert your currency, close certain positions, hide some tabs if you so wish. I unselected quite a bit because for me it was a bit too cluttered. So as you can see, I just keep my cash balances. Everything else I kind of deselected because I really want to have a simple interface, and the more stocks I add, it will be really hard to see otherwise. So I like to keep it simple and that way. And from here you can really easily get into the specific stock that you have. Let's say Pfizer, for example. I click into this, I see again a mini preview, but if I want to see more, I can click once again, and that actually takes you into the specific stock page where you have all the details. You can see here the graph, which is really great, and you can actually rotate it around so you have a bigger version of it and it's easier to see. If you click on these two arrows over here, it pulls it up in portrait mode in a bigger version, so that's really nice and handy to see. You can kind of zoom around, see the things, and if you click on the gear items over here, you can also change what you can see. So you can have different charts, you can have the candlesticks, whatever you prefer to see. The time period you can change, the volume chart, so that's always very important. So these are the bars down here where you can see basically how much a stock was bought or not, and I always like to turn it on because that gives an indication of how much buying or selling is going on to get the kind of volume. And indicators, I always turn it on because that kind of shows a specific dividend was paid on the day. That's why a stock price went up or down. So it gives you a bit more insights into why a stock price moves. And I usually keep an indicator. You can add a lot. You can click on indicators over here. So there are a lot of indicators. But again, I like to keep it simple. So I have the adaptive moving average. So this is the trend line you see over here. Let me just go back to a simple chart, which I actually prefer. So this is the trend line in blue over here. It kind of takes the average so you can see what's happening over there. Then let's exit out of it. And then again, you have the usual overview about the market data, etc. Personally, I still prefer using Yahoo Finance or Seeking Alpha to really do a deep dive into my stock analysis. But this actually gives you all the information, if not more. I just like the way Yahoo Finance Seeking Alpha portrays it. But if you want to do your research, you have everything you need to know over here as well. You can see calendar events. So this is what's coming up for the particular stock. So that's really great to see. And again, all of those you can collapse. So if you don't want to see calendar events, you can just collapse it and it is hidden from your screen. And it will stay that way and it will memorize your preferred view. So it's really great. And I like calendar events so I can know when is the dividend payment coming up, when are the next earnings being released. So that's really great to see. Again, the new section pertaining to this particular stock, I like to see it so I know what's happening. Analyst report, so I get an idea what are the analysts saying and then what are they suggesting for the numbers in the future. Company profile, I have it closed because I know the company. Obviously, I invested into it. ESG ratings, we'll come to this in a second as well. The impact score. Key ratios, I like to see because I think that's quite important to know what's happening. Dividends, of course, very important. I invest in Pfizer because of dividends. So here it gets a very good snapshot overview of what's happening with this. Financials, once again, in terms of brief charts, what's happening, how are the costs developing, how are the profits. I think that's super important if you invest in the long term of a company. And you can see a lot of other things that you can open or close as per your liking. And and it really has a lot of detail that other providers actually charge you for. Using interactive brokers, you actually get a lot of this data free of charge. So that's amazing, and that's why I love the platform as well. And social sentiment, that's really great to see what's happening online. Are people talking about a particular company or not? So this can help you also make a decision. If I go up over here, I press on the 3 buttons. Here you can really customize your view as per you like. Once again, you can unselect certain things if you don't want to see them. So you can do that, or you can move around certain things if you want to see other things at the top. So it's really up to your liking how you can customize it. I enabled the 3-column layout just to see more data on the small screen. So that's great. But yeah, you can really play around and whatever suits you. And one more thing I want to mention here, and that's something really unique to interactive brokers, and that's called exit strategy. So if I click on this over here, it pulls up a little graph, and that's really cool because basically what you can tell interactive brokers to do, in this case of Pfizer. So currently it's priced around $53. So let's say I want to change that and take my profit taking to $60. So what it will mean, automatically once Pfizer hits $60, interactive brokers will close the position, sell my Pfizer shares, and I would be making a profit of $18. It shows you even the probability. It's highly unlikely that it will go up anytime soon. So that's really great. At the same time, you also have the stop loss. So you could say to interactive brokers, look, if the price goes down to anywhere between $50, I might be scared and I want to exit the stock. So please, if it goes to $50 or less, obviously it will sell at $50, and at least you can control your damage. That's up to you. I usually don't like to do this. I like to manually work my shares and stocks. I might sell only a small position, but it's really up to you. And I think it might be a nice safety net in case you don't check all the time and the stock might really tank. You might want to damage control and exit before it is too late. But it's up to you. The option is there. It's free of charge. You can set it up. And I think it's a great tool to have. Right, and from here you can also easily buy more shares if you wish. So all you have to do for this is basically click over here on buy, and it pulls up the buying screen. So in quantity, that's where you select how much you want to buy. So you click on the right, hit this drop down, and you could select a number of shares that you want to buy. Usually it offers you 100. You can change the presets as well. I'll show you in a second. But I want to buy for a specific dollar amount. So in this case, I would click USD, exit out of it, and then click the number. And from here, I could basically say, listen, I have $44 left. I want to buy shares worth $40. I press 40 over here, okay. And now that would buy me around 0.74 shares. So not a full share of Pfizer, but a fractional share. And again, that's the beauty of interactive brokers, that it does allow fractional share trading. In terms of order type, I usually always have it on market. If you prefer something else, you can also set this up over here. It has so many other options, but market basically means that I want to buy it right now at that particular price. Again, I'm a long-term investor, so if it's a cent up or down, I'm really not too bothered. In the long term, I dollar cost average into my stocks or ETFs, so that's why I want to execute the order right now, not have to wait until it hits a certain price. But it's up to you how you want to do it. And time and force today. You can also do it good till cancel in case you want to buy it at $60. So that order will stay in place until it reaches $60, and then it will execute the order. But again, I want to buy it right now. Attached order, there's really nothing to do in case you want to add the profit taker or stop loss to it. But I don't want to do this as well. As I said, I'll do that manually. And you can also click here to show fewer options. So again, if it is a little bit too overwhelming for you, you press that, and that reduces a little bit the clutter over there. And then you go on preview, and that's really nice. You can get a preview of how much the order will cost you, what you get exactly. So here you can see the overview of what it will cost me, how many shares I get for it, if there's a commission which might be applicable or not, depends on which plan you signed up to. But again, don't forget, even if there's a small commission, the price you actually get in terms of the market value is often so much better than many other brokers out there, because they would give you a worse spread in terms of the bid and ask price. And with interactive brokers, I've always gotten the best price. So even though I pay a small commission, overall I actually benefit from it. Especially if you invest larger amounts, you will really benefit following this model rather than having commission-free model, but then actually getting worse prices whenever you buy a particular stock or ETF. Down here you have also the impact. This I'll show you in a second. The ESG scores, the impact score that you can set up in line with your investing values. So once you're fine with this, you click on submit order, the order goes through, and you are the proud owner of some additional shares. But I don't want to buy right now, so I'm going to exit out of this. And at the same time, you can of course also easily sell. So you just press press on sell, you just say how many positions you want to sell, submit sell order, and it goes through right away. All right, and that's really all there is to that. And then you can press on impact over here. So this I've done in my previous video, a more deep dive analysis, but basically you can show what are your values as an investor, what you're standing for, what you care about, equality, sustainability. There's a little questionnaire inbuilt when you do it the first time that asks questions, what are your causes, what are you standing for as an investor? And then based on this, it gives you a certain score. And whenever you invest in a company, it actually says, are you in line with the investments? Are the company values aligned with you as an investor? And it's really great to get an overview of what's happening. You can see, for example, Apple and Pfizer have been flagged. There are certain positions that maybe potentially conflict with some of my values and ethics. So you can really dive in and see how important is it? Is it relevant? Maybe you don't want to invest because they do certain things that you're not aligned with, like an oil company, for example. These are things that you can choose, and it's nice to see that on the mobile app as well. From here, once again, you have the magnifying glass. You can look for any stocks, and this can also be a little bit overwhelming at first. And I really recommend you click on the gear icon over here and deselect all the options that you don't want to see. So for me, that's pretty much most of it. I just leave stocks and indexes selected. So whenever I look for a stock, I'll just type it in here, Apple, it pulls it up. I can see the top hit being Apple, listed in the NASDAQ. Okay, that's what I like. I click it, and that takes you into it. So in the beginning, it might be a little bit overwhelming because you don't have the logos and icons like maybe some other apps, but overall, it's quite easy. And once you get used to it, it's pretty straightforward. Then you have the trade options. So once again, that's just another way of getting to your trades. But usually I buy through my portfolio section. But it's up to you if you want to buy here, you quote. So basically this is once again the same as the magnifying glass, where you can see any stocks or ETFs that you wish. Then we go into the watch list. So here you can build any watch list that you would like to do. Again, for me, I prefer Yahoo Finance and Seeking Alpha as a watch list because it's a little bit messy. But if you want to have it all in one app, you can set up any watch list you would like to have. Very simple, you click on new watch list, even scanners. So if you want to scan for particular stocks, you can set this up over here as well. Then we go to the account tab over there. So this just once again shows you a brief overview of how much liquidity you have, what's your cash position, etc. I don't margin trade, but Interactive Brokers actually allows you margin trading. So you would see that under margin as well. So yeah, for me, it's pretty straightforward. It's basically my NLV, so how much net value I have in my total account, and the total cash position I have. I have my account in dollars, but you can have it based in euros or dollars. It's up to you. You can change the currency, your base currency. So yeah, I have it set up in dollars as I mostly invest in dollars. And then we move over here to more, and there you have a few more things to be aware about. Account basically takes you to the tab we've just seen. Notifications, anything that is noteworthy will pop up there. Alerts, you can create price alerts, for example, if you so wish, which can be interesting. iBot is quite interesting. It's sort of like a AI automated chatting platform where you can execute orders and get some information, etc. through that robot. But I don't really see myself and find myself using it, so I haven't used it much. But if you want to play with it, you can definitely give it a go. Order ticket. So here, once again, it's basically like a quote lookup, orders and trades. So that's quite interesting. You can see any pending orders. As I said, in case you have a price order at a certain price, which hasn't been executed yet, it would pop up over here. And trades, you can go back and basically pull up any trade in the past you have and get more details on that particular trade. News and media, straightforward. You have even more news and media, what you wish to see. So that's quite informative. Again, I prefer other websites, but if you want to use it, that's great. Event calendar, so this is also wonderful. You can once again customize which event you want to see. Economic events for all companies, only for your companies, which is how I have it set up, that I only see basically the events relevant for my companies, earnings, dividends, etc. But you can once again customize it the way you want. Impact dashboard, we've seen this a second ago, which is a shortcut to that. Trade worldwide, so here you have basically even more information to global news if that's interesting to you, but I don't really once again see myself using this much. Configuration, so here you have even more options to customize your app, and really I recommend you to go through the access and security. So that's very important. As I said, I use Face ID, and if you have, definitely enable it just to have that much more security. SSL should definitely be on. You can have privacy mode, so that basically hides all your portfolio numbers, so you could show your app to somebody else without them seeing how much you actually own. But as this channel is all about transparency and education, I have no problem disclosing this. So yeah, you can really see for yourself, go through what you want to turn on and off. Definitely I recommend enabling simplified user interface because it just makes things, again, a little bit easier to see than it comes by default. Customize navigation you can click as well in case you want to edit the tabs down here. But again, I like it the way it's set up, but if you want to adjust it, you can easily do that and organize the tabs to your liking. And then here you have a few more shortcuts. If you open this up, again, pretty much all the things we've seen already, just once again the shortcuts directly to it. Transfer, that's quite interesting. So from here you have a shortcut that takes you to the details of where you have to deposit your funds. I actually have it set up in my bank, so I easily just transfer it to Interactive Brokers, which takes literally a couple of minutes and it's in my account. But the first time you want to transfer funds, you can click on there and it gives you all the details you need to know. The same for withdrawing funds. You can withdraw from your phone directly to your bank account, and it's very simple and straightforward as well. Account management we've seen before, but one important thing here, you can click on tax forms. And that basically takes you to the tab where you have all the tax information you need. You can basically select the time period for which you want the information, etc., and really customize the report, and it will give you specific report for all your taxes, for all your gains or losses in any case, which you then can send to your accountant and they will file your taxes accordingly. And then there's two-factor authentication, which I really recommend you to turn it on. So whenever I log into my laptop, the web portal, it pops up over here that I use my face to validate my login, and only then can I connect to my web interface. And that's really good. The same obviously when I use my app, I need to use my Face ID. And then there's research and education. In case you want to learn more, there's some great tools and resources out there. But of course, you're also welcome to watch more of this channel to learn more about investing. And that's all. And once you're done, you just click on log out and you're safe and good to go. So as you can see, it's a really powerful app, especially for people who have already a little bit experience with investing, all the way to pro level, because it allows you so much to do. There's so much information, detailed research, company insights, and you're sure to get the best prices whenever you buy a specific asset. So I personally love Interactive Brokers, especially the app. After customizing it, I've seen myself more and more using it rather than the web portal. Though I use both. When I have more time, I log into the web, but on the go, I love using the app and just checking to see how my portfolio is doing. If you want to try out Interactive Brokers for yourself, click on the link in the description below and have a chance to win up to $1,000 in shares. Check out the video over here if you want to see how Interactive Brokers works on the desktop. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay blessed, stay awesome. Ciao, ciao.